Have you ever felt like there's a ceiling on what you can do? A limit on your focus, your memory, or just your ability to learn something new? I think most of us have. But what if those limits aren't actually real? What if you could literally upgrade your brain? Well, let's dive into a story that suggests you totally can. Just imagine this for a second. You're a little kid in a classroom, and you overhear your own teacher say that about you. Now, this isn't from some movie. This was the actual reality for a guy named Jim Kwik. He would go on to become one of the world's top brain coaches, but his journey started from a place of really deep struggle. So what happened was, when he was just 5 years old, he had this bad head injury in kindergarten, and it just changed everything. He went from being this bright, curious kid to one who found it incredibly hard to focus or learn anything. I mean, reading was a nightmare. School became this constant uphill battle. And for years, he carried around that label of being broken. He somehow managed to get into college, right? He was determined to make a fresh start, but things only got worse. He basically lived in the library, sacrificing food, sleep, friendships, everything, until one day he just passed out from pure exhaustion, fell down a flight of stairs, and woke up in a hospital. That was it. That was his rock bottom, but it was also the turning point. As he's lying there in his hospital bed, a nurse brings him a mug of tea, and on it is this quote from Albert Einstein. And that's when it just clicked. All this time, he'd been trying to solve his learning problems by just working harder, by using the exact same thinking that was failing him. He realized he needed a totally new level of thinking, a new question. And this is the game changer, right here. He completely shifted his focus. He stopped worrying about the what, the history, the math, the science, and he became obsessed with the how. He dove headfirst into neuroscience, speed reading, adult learning theory, asking this one simple question over and over: how does my brain actually work so I can work my brain better? And this whole quest didn't just transform his own life. It led him to create a framework that really anyone can use to learn better and faster. He distilled everything he discovered down into this simple but incredibly powerful system he calls the Limitless Model. So the Limitless Model is built on three core pillars: your mindset, which is what you believe is possible; your motivation, which is why you're taking action; and your method, which is the specific how you do it. Kwik says that to become truly limitless, you need all three. I mean, think about it. You can have the best methods in the world, but if your mindset is telling you, I'm not smart enough, you're not going to get very far, are you? So let's dig into that first M, mindset. This is the foundation for everything else. And it's not just about positive thinking. It's about those deep, sometimes unconscious beliefs we have that either push us forward or hold us back. Let's just unpack that for a second. Your mindset is all about your core assumptions, what you believe is even on the table for you in the first place. If you fundamentally believe your potential is limited, guess what? That belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your mindset literally sets the boundaries of what you can achieve. Kwik has a great name for these limiting beliefs. He calls them LIEs, which stands for Limited Ideas Entertained. Things like thinking your IQ is set in stone, or that making a mistake means you failed. These ideas are everywhere, but they're just not true. Your brain isn't fixed, it's incredibly adaptable. And mistakes? Come on, they're just proof that you're actually trying. And this one right here, this is one of the biggest myths out there. We've all heard knowledge is power, but that's only half the story. Knowledge is potential power. It only becomes real power when you actually apply it. You can read every book in the world on a topic, but if you don't do anything with that information, it's pretty much useless. Okay, so you've started to work on your mindset, but you still need that fire to get you going, right? That brings us to the second M, motivation. This is your engine. It's the energy that drives you to take all that knowledge and actually put it into action. The key thing to get here is that motivation isn't something you either have or you don't. It's a process. It's something you can generate. You're always motivated to do something, even if that something is just staying on the couch. The goal is to learn how to generate motivation for the things that really move you toward your goals. So how do you generate it? Well, Kwik suggests this really simple formula. You need a purpose, a clear reason why you're doing this. You need physical energy, which comes from the basics like good food and sleep, and you need to break your big goal down into small, simple steps. The purpose gives you the reason, the energy gives you the fuel, and those small steps make it super easy to just get started. Finding that purpose is absolutely critical. And Kwik makes this beautiful distinction. Your passion is what you love. Maybe it's learning or art or technology, but your purpose. That's how you share that passion with other people. And that purpose becomes this unstoppable source of motivation. For him, a passion for learning became a purpose to teach others how to learn. All right, now for the final piece of this whole puzzle. You've got the right mindset, you've got the motivation to act. Now you need the most effective, most efficient ways to actually learn. And that's the third M, method. This is your toolkit. Most of us were never taught how to learn in school. We were just told to study. The method is all about having specific, proven techniques for whatever you want to do, whether it's remembering names, reading faster, focusing without getting distracted, or solving problems more creatively. And here are just a few examples of what these methods look like. Instead of just rereading your notes over and over, you practice active recall. You close the book and try to explain the concept out loud. Or you use a finger to guide your eyes when you read, which can instantly boost your speed. These aren't magic tricks. They're just science-based strategies that make learning way more effective. Jim Kwik tells this great story about sharing a ride with the legend himself, Stan Lee, creator of Spider-Man. Stan Lee told him, Jim, with great power comes great responsibility. And Kwik replied with a twist that Stan absolutely loved. And with great responsibility comes great power. When you take responsibility for your own learning, your mindset, your motivation, and your methods, you give yourself the power to change anything. And that's really the core message here. Modern neuroscience has proven beyond a doubt that our brains are not fixed. This idea of neuroplasticity shows that every single time you learn something new, you are physically changing your brain. It really is like a muscle. The more you challenge it and train it, the stronger and faster it gets. So, as we wrap this up, the real work starts with you. Looking at this limitless model, your mindset, your motivation, and your methods, I want to ask you, what is the one LIE, that one limiting belief you've been holding on to that you are now finally ready to let go of for good?